What if the biggest difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who stays financially stressed isn't income? What if it's interpretation? Two people, same city, similar salary, same economy. Very different outcomes. Let's look at a realistic scenario in the United States or Western Europe. The relatable scenario. Meet Daniel. He's 28, lives in Chicago or maybe Manchester. The city doesn't matter much. He earns $75,000 per year. After taxes, healthcare contributions, and retirement deductions, his take-home pay is roughly $4,500 per month. On paper, that's solid middle-class income. Now let's look at the monthly structure. Rent for a decent apartment, $1,600. Car payment, $480. Car insurance, $180. Student loan payment, $350. Groceries, $450. Utilities and internet, $250. Subscriptions and memberships, $120. Dining out, weekends, lifestyle, $600. Credit card minimums, $200. That's about $4,230. He has around $270 left. He doesn't feel rich, but he doesn't feel poor either. He feels normal. Now let's compare him to someone else. Meet Alex. Same age, similar income, same tax bracket. But Alex rents a slightly smaller apartment for $1,200, drives a used car with no monthly payment. Student loans are similar. Lifestyle spending is lower, not extreme, just intentional. Alex's monthly expenses come to about $3,200. That leaves $1,300. Not because Alex earns more, but because Alex sees money differently. The hidden financial mistake. The difference between Daniel and Alex is not discipline, it's perception. Daniel sees income as permission. Alex sees income as responsibility. Daniel thinks, I make $75,000. I deserve a comfortable life. Alex thinks, I make $75,000. That means I control $75,000 worth of decisions. The mistake isn't spending money. The mistake is assuming income equals wealth. They are not the same. Income is flow. Wealth is storage. And most middle-class households optimize for flow, not storage. The system subtlety. In both the US and Europe, the system quietly encourages this behavior. Credit availability is easy. Auto loans are normalized. Buy now, pay later is frictionless. Student loans delay consequences. And social media constantly redefines normal. You're not told to overspend. You're simply surrounded by people who do. That makes it invisible. The dollar math nobody thinks about. Let's isolate one decision, the car. Daniel finances a $35,000 vehicle at 6% for 6 years. The real cost over time is determined by this structure. Without getting technical, financing increases the total amount paid beyond the sticker price. Instead of $35,000, Daniel ends up paying closer to $40,000 over time. But that's not the real cost. The real cost is opportunity. If $480 per month were invested instead at an average 8% annual return for 10 years, the compounding effect follows this. That $480 monthly becomes roughly $88,000 after 10 years. So the real cost of the car isn't $40,000, it's the $88,000 not built. This is where mindset quietly separates outcomes. Daniel asks, can I afford the monthly payment? Alex asks, what is this payment replacing? The psychological layer. Why do intelligent people choose Daniel's path? Because the brain prioritizes immediate identity over long-term math. A new car signals progress. A modern apartment signals success. Lifestyle upgrades signal adulthood. These are emotional rewards. Investment growth is invisible. No one compliments your index fund balance at dinner, so the brain discounts it. Behavioral finance research repeatedly shows humans overvalue present comfort and undervalue future gain. It's not stupidity, it's wiring, but awareness changes wiring. Long-term impact. Let's fast forward 15 years. Daniel continues upgrading lifestyle with each raise. His income increases to $110,000, but so do expenses. Mortgage, bigger car, private school consideration, higher insurance. Savings rate remains low. Net worth after 15 years, modest retirement balance, minimal liquidity. Alex's income also rises, but expenses grow slower than income. The surplus continues to compound. At 8% average returns over 15 years, consistent investing creates significant divergence. It's not dramatic year to year, but compounding doesn't feel dramatic. It feels boring. Until it doesn't. The subtle mindset shift. Here is the real difference. Poor mindset focuses on lifestyle alignment. Rich mindset focuses on capital allocation. Daniel sees salary as lifestyle fuel. Alex sees salary as capital input. Neither is extreme, neither is living in deprivation, but one optimizes visibility, the other optimizes optionality. Optionality means the ability to leave a toxic job, the ability to relocate, the ability to take a sabbatical, the ability to say no. Wealth is not about luxury, it's about control. Another quiet comparison. Let's examine credit cards. Daniel carries $6,000 in revolving debt at 19% interest. The compounding structure of debt works against him using the same formula you saw earlier. Debt compounds just as effectively as investments, but in reverse. Minimum payments stretch the timeline. Interest accumulates invisibly. Alex uses credit differently, not morally differently, strategically differently. Spending that cannot be paid in full isn't categorized as affordable, it's categorized as delayed stress. That framing changes behavior. The social illusion. Here's what complicates everything. Daniel appears wealthier, nicer apartment, newer car, more visible consumption. Alex appears average, but wealth is quiet, consumption is loud. In middle-class environments, loud wins socially, quiet wins financially. This is why the mindset gap persists. The European variation. In Europe, replace student loans with higher taxes, replace healthcare premiums with social contributions, reduce some costs. The pattern remains. Higher income often expands lifestyle before it expands assets. The math does not change across borders. Psychology does not change across currencies. The final perspective shift. The rich mindset is not about aggression. It is not about extreme frugality. It is about asking a different question. Not what can I afford monthly, but what future does this decision purchase? Every expense purchases something: comfort, status, convenience, or future freedom. Most people unconsciously choose the first three. Financially intelligent individuals consciously choose a mix, but always reserve capacity for the fourth. Calm conclusion. Daniel is not irresponsible. He is typical. Alex is not superior. He is intentional. Over 20 years, the difference between typical and intentional becomes structural. Not because one worked harder, not because one earned dramatically more, but because one understood that income is temporary, capital is durable. If this perspective helped clarify something subtle, you can subscribe for more calm, rational finance discussions. Nothing dramatic, just clarity.